going on, people? What's happening, family, friends, everybody, followers, everybody that's out there riding with your boys from a puff a minute. It's time, right? It's time once again for another episode of Cigars and Conversation with my homie right here. I'm your boy, Cigar Mick.
I'm Cigar Banker. What's good, people?
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. So, yeah, bro, how was your week first?
Man, it was a good week. Just got back again from Jamaica.
Look at you, man. You be in Jamaica a lot, man. Bombo Klacha.
I found something, man. I found something out there in that water.
Yeah.
So, definitely, man, just got back. But, it's been a good week, man. My daughter going to homecoming.
Nice.
Kids growing up. My little one just turned 9.
Is that right?
Her little birthday. Yeah, man, it's been a busy week.
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's really just about, getting that quality family time in. I did all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right now, it's just me and the wifey, man. We be out in them streets, man, like every night of the week. Last Friday, you weren't here, but last Friday, Illusione came to town. Our boy Brian. They did a whiskey and cigar tasting event, man, down in Henderson down at the Fuego Cigar Lounge in Henderson, man. It was really tight, bro. Met some really cool people. Met some other podcasters, man, that want to partner with us and do some things as well here in town. So, that was really cool, man. So that's what's up. The rest of the week, man, shout out to the Las Vegas Aces, man. You know what I'm saying? Making it into the playoffs. Wifey and I went to the first playoff game this week, man. They blew out Phoenix Mercury. So that was exciting, man. So, and that's it, man. We just been running. Y'all know your boy Cigar Mick, and his wife. We do weddings out here. So we've been booked, bro. You know what I'm saying? So all the way through, got more business today and tomorrow. So that's what it is, man. Everything is looking nice.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what we smoking, right? And then let's get into a little conversation today, man. Because again, we took off last week because you was in Jamaica.
I was in Jamaica. We introduced some people to a puff a minute in Jamaica.
Is that right?
Let them know the philosophy of a puff a minute.
Nice.
You get to enjoy your cigar. You gotta smoke it like a cigarette.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you. You ain't gotta smoke it like a chimney, baby.
Yeah.
So.
But definitely, man, while I'm smoking today, man, I tell people this all the time. You come in my box, it's gonna be a lot of the same stuff in there.
There you go.
So I'm pulling out another Illusione, and you talked about this on the last episode, how it's a straight Puro cigar. So this is one of those nice Nicaraguan Puros.
Yes.
Binder, wrapper, filler, through and through Nicaraguan. And this is the Ultra. So this is the Ultra, which is the homage to MK Ultra.
There you go. I was about to say that. Yeah, that's the MK Ultra, right?
Yeah. This is the homage to MK Ultra. If you're familiar with that, man, that was the mind manipulation thing the government was doing.
Right.
So there you go.
It's still doing.
Well, yeah.
It's still doing.
They got some zombies out here, I believe.
Bro. It's still doing, bro. Like I said, I don't trust everything. So but we ain't gonna have a vaccine discussion today. We ain't gonna do that today.
I ain't grew another arm yet. I tried the magnet thing. That didn't work.
It didn't work either.
But definitely, man, this is always a good smoke, man. And it does make you kind of think about those background stories of how the naming philosophy of Illusione goes, right? So if you put out an Ultra, you got to think of MK Ultra and think about, what they were doing, brainwashing people and the ways they did it and the programs they had in place. So yeah, it's a good smoke though, man. It gives me a time to take my mini vacation and relax.
Outstanding, bro. Outstanding. You see me taking some deep pulls on this right now because this is actually the first time I've ever smoked this cigar. Little backstory. This is actually a Black Star Line cigar, right? This is the Milagro, I think, and it's the Corojo, right? And just a little backstory. I promised the owner of this brand, brother named Eric. Right, this is a black-owned cigar brand. I met him up in Colorado. I seem like every week I'm talking about I met somebody in Colorado, right?
Yeah.
But Colorado's that's the event of the season as far as I'm concerned.
It's a nice event.
Exactly. But I met him up there, and it was really kind of funny, man, because I had like some puff minute paraphernalia on. I stepped to his table. He never heard of me, man. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of funny. I'm like, hey, bro, so on and so forth. If you bless me with a stick, I will smoke it on the podcast, right, and kind of familiarize our audience with it a little bit. And he kind of looked at me sideways, like, a brother with a Jersey accent, man, like I was on the hustle, right? Well, I'm just trying to get a free cigar. And I'm like, no, you don't have to do anything, family. I'm just saying. But anyway, I gave him my word. I'm fulfilling that right now. And, it's the first time I ever really tried this right here. What I know about it, again, it's the Corojo. I believe is Nicaraguan through and through. I didn't really get any notes on it. But I do know that one of the things that stuck with me when I talked with him is that they were using the Aganorsa leaf.
Yeah.
Cigar, right? It's tobacco,
yeah.
The Aganorsa. Matter of fact, that's the same thing that Illusione is using. So I know I love Illusione, right? In their construction of a cigar. So I figured that this was going to be good as well. And I got to be honest with you, man. After lighting it, yeah, absolutely. After sparking it up, taking a few pulls off of it, this is a very, very nice cigar right here, man. It's a little bit mild, not very peppery. It almost has an underlying sweetness. It's not flavored, right? But I'm almost getting just like the natural sweetness from the tobacco. You know what I mean? The natural sweetness of it from the tobacco. I'm picking that up in this, man. So shout out to my man Eric, Black Star Line Cigars, man. I know that they're out of Illinois. Y'all may want to go out there and look for this one, or I know that they're online. Or go to your nearest brick and mortar and find out what the deal is as far as having them bring some of these in there. All right. So that's it, bro.
Mm-hmm. And we got our little libations today. I see you got the bottle highlighted. Mm-hmm. The nice Sazerac rye right there.
Little Sazerac rye, man. A little something for you. Get the day started, bro. It's another early morning in Vegas, man. People probably don't start their day with Sazerac in other parts of the world, of the country, but in Vegas we do.
If you in the know,
if you in the know,
Sazerac ain't for everybody.
It ain't for everybody, And at the end of the day, man, like we always say here in Vegas, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, baby. So that's the deal. A lot of stuff going on in the world, man. But you and I had a conversation on the phone a couple of days ago that kind of struck me. I felt like it was noteworthy, right, and worthy of a conversation today. So again, none of this is pre-rehearsed, man. We shoot everything from the top of the dome. Yeah. But you said something to me that kind of resonated a little bit. Mm-hmm. And you said you were talking about our current president, right, and the disappointment that he has been. Yeah. And then you said we were better off with Trump.
I didn't say that.
You did say something like that, bro. And I was like, let's explore this a little bit.
Yeah. So let me clarify.
From a financial perspective, you were saying. Okay,
from a financial perspective, what was going on in the economy, and when I say my perspective is more minute, it goes down to small business, right? Yeah. So the microcosm of the spectrum I'm looking at is small business. Yeah. And when I'm talking to small business owners, their morale, their attitudes, their perspective of the future was a lot more positive when Trump was in office. And I say that because typically when you have a Democratic Congress and a Democratic Senate, they start to tax you. They start talking the minimum wage. Conversation comes up again. And it should be more of a conversation about economics, not just, okay, we're going to do this because everybody wants it.
Gotcha.
If you're going to say we're going to raise the minimum wage, right? That should be for first-time entry workers, right? Mm-hmm. Not for people that's trying to raise a family should be worrying about trying to get a higher wage when they doing a job that doesn't qualify for that, right? And then you start talking taxes. I know for us as middle class, the taxes already go up, and it's like how you get out of the middle class if you're getting taxed like we are getting taxed. So then we got to try to utilize the loopholes of the rich, but we ain't got the rich money. Okay. So it's so when you get a president like this that's basically controlled by the Congress and the Senate right now, he's a lame duck president in my opinion. Yeah. I can't remember anything personally that he's done other than extending the CARES Act money.
I think you make very, very valid points, man, especially when you're coming from that economic viewpoint. I saw, or no, I read an article this week about restaurateurs here in Las Vegas, right? And they're saying they're doing worse now than they were during the whole pandemic, right? Yep. So, you know, at least during the pandemic, they were closed down. They weren't paying staff, you know, and all of those things that go with it, right? So, so right now they're losing money hand over fist, and a lot of them don't think that they are going to be able to continue to be in business a year from now.
Yeah.
Right. So I see that, you know, the economic concerns. I do also concur that our current president, Mr. Biden, is a lame duck president, and I'm looking at it from more of a social aspect. You know, directly following the election, he called out a group of people. Right, he called out and he highlighted a group of people, and that group of people were African Americans, and he said, listen, you guys had my back and I'm gonna have yours. Well, the very first opportunity that came up, right, had to do with the filibuster, right, and he laid down, and basically the filibuster was more important all of a sudden than having the back. When historically speaking, and we talked about this before, the filibuster is only invoked, right, when it is involved in a civil rights issue. Right, with something to do with civil rights, then the filibuster is invoked. So again, trying to do away with that, he laid down. He laid down on the voter rights bill, right? Still, and again, and even when you look at something as that, and 90% of America, you know, and again, I'm making up numbers, but so what? It's my show, right? But 90% of Americans, I'm gonna say, were behind or saw benefit, right, from the George Floyd Fair Policing Act. We have not made any more ground, right? We haven't gained any more ground on that type of legislation since he's been in office than before he was in office. So at the end of the day, my question is exactly how are you having our backs, and exactly what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Half the time when I see this dude go up and stand behind a podium, right, I'm looking for the strings. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, where's Jim Henson right now? You know, what's the deal? This dude doesn't even seem like he's real to me, man. Like, and you know, I got a son-in-law who's convinced, right, that it's a double, or that it's somebody that's playing, an actor that's playing a role for him, you know, so to speak. So at the end of the day, man, I don't know if it's health concerns. I don't know if it's, you know, some like I said, amnesia or whatever, or Alzheimer, whatever this coming in, dementia or whatever, but he doesn't seem to be all there when it comes to me, and I really just don't see what he's doing other than biding time. See what I did right there? See what I did right there? I don't know what else he's doing.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I can't call it, bro. And like you said, from a social aspect, it's even more interesting, right? You talk about the Voting Rights Act, which was going to get away with laws like not letting felons vote, getting rid of all these crazy identification laws in some of these other states where they were making people come to the voting centers with birth certificates and all these different forms of ID. Like, that's that kind of sweeping legislation that would really cause reform. We've seen none of that. We've seen none of that.
No.
It's been the same old.
Exactly.
And I ain't saying we was better off with Trump, but I will say at least he was doing something. He was speaking. He was giving a rallying cry to a group of people that didn't have a voice. And that's what we asked for, right? When we don't have a voice, and we don't have a fight in the battle, all we asking for is somebody to be our voice. And at the state level, we're doing very well. We got congressmen and senators that's representing us well. But at the federal level, it's rough, man. It's rough.
Yeah, so here's the other side of the coin, man. Let me, play a little other devil's advocate as well. The one thing, I never had issues with our former president when it came to, the economic side of things, or, economic policy and things of that nature. What really scared me, right, what really caused me to take stock, man, and have fear for myself and my family, was what was happening in the country as it pertains to race relations, right? Now I'm really feeling like when I leave the house in the morning, right, that there's an outside chance that I might not make it home because of the color of my skin. I have literally, personally, been videotaped by Karens in parking lots.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Other than getting in my car and you park crazy and whatnot, and you got me halfway blocked in, and I'm trying to get around you and stuff. So it's just crazy stuff, man. So, you know, it's just that hatred that he was promoting, you know, across the nation. And that's the part that scared me, was not so much about, oh, you know, what is our standing in the world, because I think that suffered a little bit as well, right? But what our relationship to one another became as fellow Americans, right? Because we went away from being fellow Americans. It was so divided, you know, far right, far left. There was no in between, and we were becoming a very, in my opinion, evil nation. You know, locking up kids in cages and you know, and all of those types of things, man. It just, that's the part, you know, that bothered me. And you know, I know that there's a concerted effort right now to, you know, bring him back and put him back in office.
That's true.
You know, I mean, and again, you can't count that out.
No.
Right? Because his followers, right? his followers, right? It's funny, we was talking about ultra and mind control and all that type of stuff. Because these people don't think for themselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm not trying to come out with a sweeping accusation, so to speak, but at the end of the day, they follow the crowd. It's mob mentality, you know, and that is what, if anything, that is what will put him back in office, that mob mentality.
Yeah, and they already got the Trump 2024 flags. I seen them down the street from the house, flying them different flags and things. But I lost my train of thought now.
Oh, you good. Polo tried to fill in.
Yeah, I know. I seen Polo over there doing his thing. It threw me off, man. But definitely, man, like I said, from a social aspect, I agree with you. Like, Trump was on a whole nother level. So here's what I was gonna say. Okay, so Trump was giving a voice to the disenfranchised, right? We are more disenfranchised than any other
so I was gonna
population.
say, you gotta clarify. It depends on your definition of disenfranchised.
Yeah, we are more disenfranchised than any other population, right? But he gave a voice to the poor whites. The poor whites who, the rural back roads of Ohio to, you know, the backwoods of Alabama and Mississippi. He gave them a voice where they felt like they was on the same level as those rich white people that was living in the mansions and stuff. They felt like they was on the same level. That's a crazy thing.
Exactly.
We as black people have never felt like we was on the same level as any white person.
Exactly.
Let alone the millionaires and stuff that was running the country. So for him to give them a voice and let them rise up, that was what was the scary part. Because he gave them an opportunity to rise up and say, okay, I'm better than you. I'm better than this person. I'm better than that person. When in reality, it never had anything to do with race. It's all economics.
I agree.
Think about from the Reagan administration, bro. From the Reagan administration, that's when it got highlighted the most, about how they used economics but turned it into race to be able to win a race for Reagan. Reagan should have never won that presidency. Never. But he won because they said, okay, we're gonna give you safety, we're gonna give you security. We're going to make it so you can continue to make money and live the American dream. Make the white person feel safe. But it had nothing to do with race. It was all about economics. And then as soon as it went from that, it turned into the war on drugs and the super predators that went into the 90s.
All of that was about race, though.
It wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. All of that was about race. They just changed the terminology. At the end of the day, man, like what you were just saying is very true. But they changed the names to protect the innocent, bro. They used to come out, man, back in the day, man, when it was the Dixiecrats, and they had no problem calling you the N-word, right? But once they got into you know, when you go from Jim Crow to James Crow Esquire, you got to have a little bit more sophistication with it. So they started calling them urban communities. They started talking about the war on drugs. They started talking about welfare queens. But they were always talking about the same people, right? Anytime when they said that, the image that came to their mind, bro, was somebody who looked like you or me. So it was still about race, even though they weren't as overt with it, right, as they were in the past. It was still there.
I would disagree. I would disagree because I would say that all of that was to be able to diminish your position, diminish your worth, so that you can't rise up to the level that I'm at. I don't want to live in the same community as you. I don't want to have my kids go to the same school as you.
Why?
Because I don't want you on my level.
Why?
I don't think it has anything to do with race. I think it's all
The
about
why
the
in this country is always race, bro.
It's about a level of comfortability.
It's always race.
It's about a level of comfortability. It's like if I make you a person that I'm afraid of, how can you get to where I'm at if I'm afraid of you?
Okay, I agree with you on that.
All of that.
But
And
there's
even-
a reason why they're afraid. I keep saying the underlying reason why I'm afraid of you
want us to rise
is
up. Even
because
the Civil War.
So
the original Civil War was because we was going to take away their workforce, right? The workforce that they had working for free.
Yeah.
The economics of the South got flip-flop. Now they some of the poorest cities and countries in America. Outside of Atlanta and maybe some cities like Mobile, Alabama, like the South has not risen up to the point where you say like a New York, Pennsylvania, like some of those cities in the North, old cities, that they haven't risen up because we took away their economic system.
Okay. I was going to touch on something, but I don't want to do that, all right? Because what's your boy that was just running for governor? Who was running for governor of California? The
black guy.
Yeah, Larry Elder, Lester Elder, whatever the heck his name. He came out and said because of that, right, that the slave owners and so on and so forth owed reparations because we took away their workforce. So I'm not going to touch on that. What I will say is, and don't quote me on this because I'm not sure of the source, but I believe it was President Johnson who basically said that if you can take the poorest white man, right, and make him feel superior, right, to the richest black man, right, you do not have to pick his pocket. Alright, make him feel superior, and he will empty his pockets for you.
Yeah.
Right. So again, that was along the lines of fundraising and this. So the speech, the way that they talked and all when they were doing these events and stuff like that, they were making these people feel like they were better than the other, not because of their social status, their economic status. It was really based upon the color of their skin, which is why somebody will vote against their own interests when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to so many other different things, right? Because even though, right, they're voting against their own interests, right, they think I'm keeping those people from getting something for free.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you're right, because that's the thing. They don't want those people to rise up, whether it's blacks, Hispanics. I got to throw them into the mix because even though some of them may identify with more of the white race, they in the same bucket as us. You came here from another country, even though you owned a lot of the country. We annexed that and took it back.
That's an interesting. That's an interesting demographic, right? So, what we have done in the United States, I don't think this has really been done in any other countries. We tried to lump all of our Latino brothers and sisters together in one group, right? And we call them Latinx, right?
Yeah.
So when I was growing up, in northern New Jersey, New York area, the Dominicans didn't like the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Dominicans didn't like the Puerto Ricans. In the Southwest, man, it was the Mexicans and and what have you. You had the Hondurans, and all of this type of stuff. So what we did is we lumped them all in, but we don't do that really with any other group, right? Yeah. They've done it to us. They basically just stripped us of any of our identities and what have you, right? But even the Europeans, a French person identifies as French, right? An English person identifies as English, a British, or what have you, right? A Scottish person identifies as Scottish. So there's a lot of backlash within the Latinx community that they don't want to be known as Latinx. They're like, we've been around just as long as Europe, right? So we want to maintain our unique identities, right? So that's real interesting when you start talking about that because, Cubans, right? If you're looking at the Cuban population down in Florida, they tend to be very, very right-wing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, very much so.
As opposed to some other groups like down in Phoenix, perhaps, right? A Latinx community in Phoenix that tend to be very, very left-wing, right? Why is that? Well, you just said it. Because the people who migrated to the United States, I'm using that nice word, right? Migrated to the United States from Cuba were the plantation owners. When Castro came in and leveled the playing field, right? It was the ones who were keeping everybody else down. Right. Those are the ones who fled, which is why when you go to Miami right now and you go to Little Havana, in your mind you would think that all Cubans were fair-skinned.
Oh, no.
But the majority of Cubans look like you and me.
Yeah.
Right? And we're not having that, right? So they're not coming over here.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Look what just happened to the people that tried to, to escape from Haiti a week ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The mindset is different. The mindset is different, but I digress.
No, but it's a good point, because like I said, I just got back from Jamaica, right?
Yeah.
Even talking to the people of Jamaica, man, they don't identify that well with us. It's a black country. It's not just like it's a black person here and there. That's a black country,
right?
And they don't even identify with us that well. They recognize that, hey, some of my ancestors were part of the slave trade. They got traded to the Americas and things like that.
Right.
But at the same time, for them, it was different. Like, they got to Jamaica in a different way, and they just got their freedom. What was like 60 years ago?
Yeah.
They haven't been a free country that long. They were gotten their independence for that long.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, man, even their experience is different. So when we talk to them about our experience, they can't even relate to us.
Yeah.
I was like, we don't know our people. We don't know our ancestry.
Exactly.
I was like, I'm lucky if I go back 3 or 4 generations. And I'm like, I look at my wife who's Trinidadian. She know her family back 7, 8 generations.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know my family that far back.
Right.
So it's like, it's a weird dichotomy that we deal with even in the black race, but nobody recognizes.
Exactly.
Like you said, the Latinx
It's not
race,
cool,
like,
man. It's not cool for us to talk about it, right? People get offended when we even have the discussion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you're right. We have been stripped of our heritage, of our language, of our, our native worship rituals, or whatever the case may be. So you look in America and you see so many people out here who are misbehaving, right? And I want to dissect that word a little bit, right? Because that's what the media wants you to see this community as, a community that misbehaves, right? All right, high crime, black on black crime. They come up with all of this stuff to try to emphasize misbehaving.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know your culture, if you don't know the behavior of your people, the behavior of your culture, the behavior of the class of folks that you came from, then you will probably miss that.
Yeah.
Right? You will probably miss it. And it's of no fault of your own. Right? If you don't know who you are, you don't know how to be who you're supposed to be.
And what do you say? Like, the American black person has probably got, what, a 180 maybe year history. Part of that was slavery, and then you got Jim Crow right behind that.
Exactly.
So we got 60 years to try to build a community as a people. How can you know who you are? How can you know any kind of history? How can you relate to anything?
Yeah.
That's why these kids today even seem so lost. They know nothing about themselves other than slavery.
They know less today. Well,
if they know slavery.
Exactly, if they know that, right? So they know less today than we knew when we were growing up. But again, the further down the timeline you get, the further away you get from the truth and from the original, right? And the harder it is to go back.
Yeah, definitely.
So it was the Bible in Hosea 4:6 says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge."
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
If you don't know who you are, if you don't have knowledge of self, bro, then what else can you be?
Yeah.
Other than lost.
Hey, I gotta shout out my boy LJ, man, because that's what they do with Master Mindsets, teaching the kids knowledge of self, making sure they know where they came from before slavery, that whole Kemet history and whatnot, and things like that. But it's good that we have people out there trying to give people that knowledge, because if you don't seek it on your own, it's not readily available.
Exactly.
They're not teaching it in schools. Even if you take a Black History class in college, you may get to Malcolm and Michael, or Malcolm and Martin, but you may not get to all the other stuff that happened before that.
Well, we have to know who we are, and we have to know the history behind it. So I agree with you 100%. Listen, if you're listening to a Puff a Minute for the first time, man, understand this, right? None of this is scripted. This is a real conversation, man. What me and my boy right here, Cigar Banker, do, we light cigars and we just talk about whatever is top of mind. And Polo barks in the background and whatnot. So to keep everything nice and light and fun, to keep us honest, right? Let you know that this is truly live. So at the end of the day, you may agree with us, you may disagree disagree with us, but this is a genuine conversation between two black men. As we see, the world and how it's happening around us right now and today. So again, we hope that you enjoy what we do, man. We try to bring these types of conversation. Everything ain't heavy like this, man. I thought we was gonna get into some college football, some NBA. By the way, I'm still ruling in my fantasy league. The GOAT is still the GOAT.
Yeah.
I'm still ruling.
Fantasy is the business right now. I'm making hustle moves right now because I got two quarterbacks that's kind of lame ducks.
Is that right?
So I'm trying to make moves, man. I got Roethlisberger and Tannehill. Ain't neither one of them impressed me.
Yeah, I don't have great quarterbacks, but I have the best wide receivers, the best running backs. That's happening right now, and that's how I'm running the table. So this week I'm in number 2 spot. I'm playing the number 1 squad. After this weekend, I'll be number 1. You know what I'm saying? I'm that confident about it. I'll be number 1. And then I'll figure out what we're going to do for the rest of the season. But from my estimation, I got a 95% chance of going to the playoffs right now. About a 30% chance of winning the championship, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to do what I got to do, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of fantasy, you know what I'm saying? Real quick, this past Thursday night, right? I got invited. Yeah, I got invited to a penthouse party for the launch of a brand new daily fantasy sports application that's about to hit the market. They are in partnership with Caesars Entertainment. Yes, that's Caesars Entertainment. And it was really, really intriguing to see. I want to invite all of my friends, man, that are into, all of our followers that are into fantasy sports, daily fantasy sports, man. They even have a sports book that you can, play in every state, even if sports booking is not legal yet in your state. The way they get around that is you playing for prizes and all of that type of stuff. But again, it's a lot of fun. It's about having fun more than anything else, right? It's about having fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a link up at the end of this. Anybody who's interested in just downloading the app, you can play for free, you know what I'm saying? But just get on there, play for free, have some fun, you know what I'm saying? And hit me back, man. Hit Cigar Make Back and let me know what you think about it, because I'm pretty impressed with these guys. I actually had that opportunity to sit down and talk to the CEO of the company, Mr. Steve Wang, and get his entire vision of what's going on, man. And I feel like, we're on the forefront of something that is huge, that's about to sweep not only this nation, man, but the world as well. So, and again, I don't come on here talking about things too often, but I'll be honest with you, I went down there kicking and screaming, I don't want to go, I don't want to go, I don't want to go. And once I got in there, man, and saw what was going on and the caliber of people in the room, all my entrepreneurial cells just started generating, bro. My spidey senses started tingling, and I'm like, yo, what's going on right here? How can I get involved in this?
Hey, so Vegas is a city for sports, man.
Exactly.
Sports gambling.
Exactly.
And I would say that's the only horizon we haven't hit the peak of yet.
Exactly.
Because apps like DraftKings are killing us. Some of these other apps that we're not allowed to use here in Vegas, we got our thing, but man, when it comes to the live sports betting, we ain't on that level yet.
Exactly.
So the casino still kind of rule that world and trying to take it over. So something like this, like what you talking about, is a good entryway for us to be able to expand that.
Yeah, because again, with Super Draft, you're able to, even here in Las Vegas, to participate in the DFS that we couldn't. We were able to participate in DFS for like a month, I would say. You know what I'm saying, before they shut it down out here, right? Because I think DraftKings is actually based here, right?
They're getting ready to come here.
Okay, but this particular app by Super Draft is actually designed by the same people who designed DraftKings. So number one. So again, the app is 100. But at the end of the day, man, like I said, there's an opportunity for people all over the country, those states that can't do sports betting, they can get on here and they can do this. Those states that still can't do DFS, like Nevada and a few others, you can do DFS with this. So at the end of the day, man, it's something that everybody can look at, and you can actually get into an affiliate program where you're making some paper, man, just by all the friends that you invite as well to it. You know what I'm saying? So I would say jump in early. There's only about 1,000 or so people that are on this right now. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, with tens and tens of millions of people who are doing this every day. I would say, the opportunity is there, and again, I'll put a link up at the end, man. If anybody's got any questions, you know, just hit me up. I'll be happy to facilitate that, man, and we'll just take it from there. You
Absolutely,
know,
man.
yeah, that's what's up, bro.
I think it's been a good episode, bro.
I think so too,
Yeah,
man.
we close it out on that.
Yeah.
You already said posting up the link, man. I'm like, y'all gotta interact with us, please.
Yes,
please,
yes.
please. We looking for the interaction. Like, we want feedback. We want to know what you guys are thinking about, or cigars you want us to smoke, topics you want us to talk about. Like, we game about anything. Like,
We ain't skirt.
Yeah, there you go. As you can see, man, I know we bashed Trump a lot last year,
We
and
did.
everybody was probably like, "Oh, these dudes is against Republicans and blah blah." No, we
not at all.
unbiased. We
Exactly.
unbiased as hell.
Independent like a mug.
Yes. We free thinkers.
Exactly. True story. True
Yeah.
story, man. Free thinkers.
So we are not brainwashed at all. So please come to us with feedback. Give us comments. Like, share, comment. Like you said, on Instagram, man, y'all showing us love absolutely all the time, man. Liking the pictures,
Yes.
commenting, sharing. But please continue to do that. Invite your friends to the Instagram page. Please take that love over to YouTube, man. That's where we got the library to store all the videos. Y'all can watch us from way back. We've been at it 3 years now, man.
Yeah, bro.
We've been at this thing, man. I was in Jamaica making a Puff a Minute friend.
There you go.
So, you know what I'm saying? Keep doing what y'all doing, man, and following us and keeping up with what we doing. Click the bell link so you get the notifications. Make sure to subscribe. Please subscribe to the page. We need subscribers on YouTube so we can
Yes.
continue to do the content we putting out right now. And like I said, we're on Spotify. We're on all the podcast platforms you can think of. Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, like whatever you listen to podcasts at, we there.
Exactly.
So please continue to do that. You can see the audio setup, man. We legit. We trying to make some good content for y'all.
Yeah.
Man, continue to appreciate what we doing and show that love and reciprocate it back to us.
Outstanding, bro.
Yeah.
I agree 100%, man. Listen, guys, you know, right now, today, right, you know that we're doing this for love, right? We love what we do. We love premium cigars, you know what I'm saying? We love getting together and chopping it up on today's topics. And we bring this content to you for nothing, right? All we ask for is some love in return. It may not always be the case. I'm going to be honest with you, right? It may not always be the case, man. We don't get some sponsorships or this, that, and the other thing. At the end of the day, man, this is what we do, right? We got nothing but love for you. We hope that you guys can show that love back towards us. I'm your man, Cigar Mick.
It's Cigar Banking.
It's been another Cigars and Conversations with a Puff a Minute. Thank you. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week. Peace. We're out.